behalf of Cathay Pacific and our team, I would like to warmly welcome you on board CX-881, our one-more flight to Hong Kong.
So this was during Hong Kong's zero COVID policy, meaning that you had to book a quarantine hotel and you weren't allowed to literally go out in society until they had proof that you did not have COVID. I'm not gonna cap, it was a tad bit dystopian, just a very tad bit, simply because I had come out from Texas like 2 weeks prior, and then I flew out from Cali, where, both places really, some people pretended like COVID was over. So to be thrown into like a place where COVID was really emphasized, I was just like, what's actually going on? It felt like, when you like go to your friend's house and like you just don't know the rules of the house, like, do they take off their shoes at the door or not? Do you have to go greet everyone in the house or not? Do you have to ask for food, or will they just give you food? And then your friend is just like going through as if it's like the most normalist thing, and you have to kind of follow their directions or like their actions, But in a whole new country where they're speaking a whole different language and you're scared out of your mind. So that was this moment. In Hong Kong, baby. So when I landed, right, it was a sense of like catharsis, sense of like peace. I was so grateful and like, oh wow, God brought me here. I feel like my body is still in, I don't even know what time. Am I in LA time? Am I in Texas time? What time am I in? And then the whole roller coaster of emotions of everything hitting me at once. Within the past week, I've kind of said bye to everyone, like my people, like my core rooted people. I am gonna see you again, but it's gonna be a minute, and I will have to go through like a transitional period, a little bit with people, but a little bit alone, because they're gonna be doing their own life thing. I'm gonna be doing my own life thing. I know I'm here alone, a bit sad. I think what I'm more scared of right now is potential discriminations. It's clear that I'm Black, and I don't know how that would be received. And not necessarily the happenings of it. Like, I don't know, I watched a sermon where it's like offenses will come, but more so my reaction. And I'm really like nervous, I think, of like shutting down and like isolating myself because of like all these things that are happening to me that I can't control. But I really want to be cognizant of like, I can't control those things, and people just don't know better. Like, or if they did, they would do better, like in general, because they're wasting their time with that. So yeah, I think that's like the main nervousness of like, how is my presence gonna be received in this place? And I think my body right now is like feeling the emotions of being here. I just want to chill, listen to music, talk to God, read a book, you know. I want to live a slow life, even in a fast city. So yes, I am people watching from the 20th floor, and last night I actually read that like in Hong Kong people use umbrellas outside in the sun. Okay, so this is such a tiny person thing. Like I'm just laying flat that way and reading. Like I love being tiny. It is one of my favorite things. And then here's the view, the same view we've been looking at. But I was just reading this book and The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. So I think it talks about it as like it's cultivating a deep appreciation of simple pleasures. Every evening stroll, every sunrise, every good conversation with an old friend is a potential portal to the grateful, joyful enjoyment of life in God's world. That's what I want. I want a slow life. Next few days of quarantine were very typical ? I spent my time doing lab tests on myself so I could prove to the government that I did not have COVID. I ate a few good meals and a lot of questionable meals. Like, is chicken steak made out of chicken or beef? Or is it chicken made like the way steak is made? I was so confused, and so was Google. And lastly, I ended up doing a lot of admin things. I had an essay to write. My bank stopped working. And I decided that, you know, it was probably time to get a VPN because, you know, censorship, 1984, you're kind of always being watched, you know, Big Brother is always watching you. I was getting those vibes. What I'm trying to say is your girl's lonely and I can't call any of my people because they're asleep. Like, what, bro? If y'all don't get up, anyways, I can't FaceTime anyone because everyone is asleep or like trying to sleep. Ode to being 16 hours ahead. After a beautiful 72 hours of quarantine, it was finally time to go. I'm not gonna cap, I was a tad bit scared. Just a tad bit, but it was one of those moments where like you just had to do it scared. So I got my 2 luggages and stepped outside and realized that I had no data and had no Wi-Fi. So I had to go to Watson's or Wastons to buy a SIM card and then call up an Uber, which would then take me to where I was staying. So that took a bit of time, but I was just like, you know what? Everything, we'll figure it out one step at a time. You